In the small, unassuming town of Eldridge, prom night shimmered with the promise of dreams and memories. Yet, as students adorned in their finest gathered in the high school gym, a foreboding legend whispered through the halls, one that spoke of Radiohead, the prom king. This dark specter was said to haunt the night, punishing those with ill intentions. Jessica Malone stood by the entrance, her heart racing as she spotted her rival, Lily, laughing with friends. The bright lights of the gym felt suffocating, casting long shadows that seemed to dance with menace. Consumed by jealousy, Jessica had resorted to cruel tactics, spreading rumors to tarnish Lily's reputation. Each whispered lie weighed heavily on her conscience, yet the thrill of competition blinded her to the darkness of her actions. Ethan Carter, the star quarterback, strode into the gym, soaking in the admiration of his classmates. He exuded confidence, but beneath the surface lay a history of cruelty. For years, he had bullied weaker students, relishing in their fear. Tonight, he wore his entitlement like armor, oblivious to the storm brewing around him. Across the room, Mr. Thompson, the history teacher, watched the crowd with an unsettling gaze. Respected but feared, he was known for his inappropriate comments and predatory behavior toward female students. His smile was charming, but his eyes glinted with a predatory hunger, a reminder of the power he wielded over those he was meant to protect. Samantha Rivera, a social media influencer, adjusted her phone for the perfect selfie. Her quest for fame had led her to betray her closest friend, Laura, posting a humiliating video without consent. As her follower count surged, guilt festered within her, a dark undercurrent she struggled to ignore. Kyle Jensen, the class clown, burst into laughter with friends, his humor often crossing the line into cruelty. He thrived on making others laugh at the expense of those who were vulnerable, particularly a girl he'd relentlessly mocked for her speech impediment. Unaware of the damage he inflicted, Kyle reveled in his role as the life of the party. Finally, Ashley Bennett eyed the crowd, her heart racing as she watched Sarah, her former friend, glow with excitement. Ashley's envy had driven her to sabotage Sarah's scholarship, submitting a false report that nearly cost her everything. As she looked at Sarah, a gnawing guilt twisted in her stomach, but the bitterness of envy clouded her judgment. As the clock struck 8, an unnatural chill swept through the gym. The lights flickered ominously, and the lively music warped into a haunting melody that sent shivers down their spines. Jessica shivered, her heart pounding as shadows seemed to stretch and twist, warping the familiar space into something sinister. Then, without warning, the gym doors creaked open. A figure emerged, cloaked in shadows and crowned with an eerie glow. Radiohead, the prom king. His presence silenced the crowd, a palpable fear enveloping the students. He held an old-fashioned radio, its crackle slicing through the thick tension in the air. "Tonight, I judge the wicked," he intoned, his voice echoing like a death knell. One by one, he scanned the crowd with hollow eyes that seemed to penetrate their very souls. Jessica felt an icy grip on her heart as he locked eyes with her. "You, who sought to destroy with envy," he declared, his voice booming with authority. In an instant, the gym warped around her, the bright lights extinguishing into suffocating darkness. Jessica found herself in a twisted reflection of the prom, where the lights never dimmed, but laughter felt distant and mocking. A dim spotlight illuminated Lily, alone and shattered, surrounded by whispers of betrayal. Jessica was forced to dance in a macabre version of the celebration, her heart heavy with regret. The music played, each note a reminder of her malicious intentions, while Lily's face twisted in anguish, a silent accusation. Next, Ethan was thrust into darkness. "You, who thrived on fear," Radiohead's voice echoed as shadows closed in around him. He found himself in an endless void filled with the faces of those he had bullied, their eyes wide with pain and suffering. They circled him, whispering his name, and he was forced to dance to the rhythm of their torment, the thrill of intimidation now a suffocating weight. Mr. Thompson felt the cold grip of judgment as well. "You, who preyed on the vulnerable." He was cast into a hallway lined with distorted mirrors, each reflection a different student he had wronged. Their faces twisted in pain and accusation, watching him with silent fury. As he wandered, the whispers of their anguish became deafening, echoing in his ears until he could bear it no longer. Samantha's turn came swiftly. "You, who betrayed a friend for fleeting fame." She stood in a spotlight, the laughter of her followers now a cacophony of mockery. Laura's face twisted in agony, replaying the moment of betrayal over and over, as Samantha was forced to relive the humiliation she had caused. The realization of her actions settled like a heavy stone in her chest. Kyle, initially laughing, soon realized he was alone in a void filled with silence. "You, who took joy in cruelty." Shadows surrounded him, revealing the faces of his victims, each one staring at him with sorrowful eyes. He was trapped in a never-ending loop of his own making, haunted by their pain as he felt the weight of their judgment closing in. Finally, Ashley faced Radiohead. "You, who destroyed a future out of envy." The scene morphed around her, and she saw Sarah's dreams unraveling like delicate threads. Ashley stood by, powerless, as the weight of her envy crushed Sarah's aspirations. Alone in the shadows, she realized that her hollow victory came at a terrible cost. Back in the gym, the remaining students watched in horror as their friends vanished one by one, leaving only echoes of laughter and the heavy weight of regret. The atmosphere thickened with dread, and whispers of their sins danced around them like a haunting melody. As the clock ticked down to midnight, Radiohead's figure loomed larger, a shadow that grew darker with each passing second. The air was thick with despair as realization washed over them. They were all complicit in the darkness that had consumed their lives. One by one, they would face judgment, forced to confront the pain they had inflicted. With a final, chilling gaze, Radiohead declared, "The wicked shall dance forever in sorrow." As the last echoes of the night faded, the students found themselves engulfed in darkness, knowing that they would forever be haunted by their actions. The legend of Radiohead transformed from mere folklore into a chilling truth, a reminder that beneath the glittering facade of celebration lay shadows, always watching, always waiting for judgment. As they faced the consequences of their choices, they understood the cost of their darkness. In the end, as the gym stood empty, the only sound was the distant crackle of a radio playing a haunting tune, an eternal reminder that Radiohead, the prom king, was always there, ready to pass judgment on T.